Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Liquor License Commissioners for Baltimore City's uh, July 29th, 2021 virtual hearing. My name is Nicholas Blendy, and I am the Deputy Executive Secretary of the Board. If you look on the screen, for those of you who are following either on Charm TV or in the Webex room, you can see an outline of how today's proceedings are going to run. There is the bullet points that I'm about to go through. So we are here on Cisco Webex, the online meeting platform that the City of Baltimore is using to conduct its virtual meetings. The Board of Estimates, the City Council, and excuse me for 1 second, and the Planning Department all use this. In order to fully utilize the WebEx system, the members of the public need access to a laptop, iPad, smartphone, or a similar device that has a camera and microphone capabilities. In order to participate, members need to download the app, and you can see the link there on the screen for how you get to our hearing today and what the access code and the password are. We suggest that if you are going to use your smartphone, iPad, or similar device, that you have downloaded everything and give it a test drive, like I know we have some people working on today for a future hearing. And if any member of the general public doesn't have access to a computer, but they want to listen live, you can dial in at the phone number and enter the access code down there at the bottom of the screen. All materials, evidence, and related items for today's docket are available on our webpage at the hyperlink you can see on the screen. We are under today's date, July 29th, 2021, we are observing a 48-hour rule for online hearings, meaning that all evidence that should be is to be considered by the board needed to have been submitted by 11 a.m. Tuesday to our Assistant Executive Secretary, Stacey Russell. And we obviously aren't accepting documents in person because this is a virtual hearing. So any amendment by an applicant or their representative need to have been made by July 15th in order to be heard today. If anyone is attempting to amend an application today, you will be automatically postponed. And in addition to seeing everything online, all applicants have been communicated to with a letter instructing them how to proceed in today's hearing. The procedures for today's docket. I'm reading the preliminary instructions and the general ground rules. I will call the case in the order listed on the short docket, which will be up on the screen when we are ready to proceed. I will then ask for the applicant and his or her representative to identify themselves, and if applicable, the applicant or any supporting witnesses will be sworn in by the court reporter so you testify under oath. The board will provide an opportunity for the applicant and his or her representative to present their case. The board might ask questions of the attorney or the applicant, and at the conclusion, the chairman will ask me if there are any individuals who are on this call who wish to testify in support or opposition to the application, and I will then ask you to use the raise your hand feature, which is at the bottom of your WebEx screen. And if I see someone has raised their hand, I will acknowledge you, and you will need to be sworn in by the court reporter before you may present any testimony. And if you have access only to a phone, you are unable to be sworn in because we need video footage of that. So you have to have your camera running in order to testify. After all testimony and evidence is presented, the board will then vote on the application before them, and the Assistant Executive Secretary will then read the exhibits into the record. A reminder, the board's not authorized to discuss any non-case related matters today. The board's sitting in its quasi-judicial capacity and authorized only to hear evidence and testimony related to the cases that are on the docket before it, and nothing else or any policy matters can be discussed today. The general ground rules that we ask everyone to follow. We ask you to mute yourself when you're not speaking to minimize feedback and background noise. We ask that you please clearly identify yourself, and if asked, state the spelling of your name before you speak by the court reporter. We ask that you please speak slowly and in a clear voice so that the court reporter can understand exactly what is being said and who is saying it. We note again that this event is running live on Charm TV and there is a court reporter present. Any individual who uses profanity, is disrespectful or unruly, may be expelled from today's virtual hearing. All attendees, applicants, licensees, and members of the public who wish to provide testimony during the hearings, again, I noted before, must be sworn in prior to giving testimony. We're not taking any physical evidence today at these proceedings. And again, no amendments can be made to the application. They'll result in automatic postponement. We have some helpful reminders to improve Webex. We ask that you be prepared and have read your materials before time and have tested your video conferencing platform. We ask that you be in a good location with quiet space, good light, and a strong internet connection so that to minimize connectivity issues and that you can be seen and heard clearly. We ask that you be present and not be multitasking. So when your case is ready, you're in the moment. And lastly, we above all ask for patience with yourself and with others. The technological world always throws a curveball, and so bear with us as we work through it. With that is the rest of the instructions. Mr. Chairman, the short docket's up there. Let me know when you're ready and I'll call the first case.
Let's go.
All right. The first item on today's docket is licensee applicant Anna Kirsten Nastasi, Mr. Nice Guy Cocktails LLC, trading as Mr. Nice Guy Cocktails, 800 South Kenwood Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21224. This is an application to transfer ownership with the continuation of outdoor table service for an existing BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Applicant is representing herself, Mr. Chairman, so she is in the room, and I imagine she needs to be sworn.
Okay, let's swear Ms. Nastasi, please.
Ms. Nastasi, can you raise your right hand and let me know when you have?
I have, yes.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the answers that you give and the statements that you make will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Ms. Nastasi, will you tell the board what your plans are for this operation?
The plans are to continue operating as we have been with outdoor service.
And have you been involved in this before?
Yes.
So tell us about your background and experience, please.
My background, I'm a psychologist, and my husband runs the business, so we run it together.
Okay, and how long have you been in the business?
The last 2 years.
Okay, and have you been running this operation for 2 years?
I think a year and a half. It opened in March of 2020.
Okay, and so when did this license has been around for a while, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you did not have the license. Your husband was the manager during the last year and a half?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, and is he the only one who handles alcohol, or do they have others there who handle alcohol?
We have staff, yes. We have other people handling alcohol.
And is your husband and are the other staff members who handle alcohol, are they tip certified?
Yes, they are.
And they're aware of our rules and regulations?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as far as I can tell, they have not in the last year or two had any violations. Is that correct?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And is anything going to change once this license transfers?
There's no plan to change as of now.
Okay. And are you going to be involved at all in the operation of the facility?
To a minimal degree, yes.
And to that extent, you'll also get certified?
Yes.
Okay. And about how many people do you employ?
4 full-time.
Okay. All right. Do the commissioners have questions?
I have no questions.
I have one question with respect to the outdoor seating. I'm looking at the 2 drawings and I'm a little bit confused. It could just be me, Ms. Nastasi, so I apologize, but it appears that the outdoor seating, and I assume it's the same as it has been, so nothing's changed, is on a different street than the restaurant.
The restaurant's on a corner.
Okay, so is the outdoor seating across the street?
No, it wraps around the corner of the building. So there's some seating on Kenwood, but then there's also seating on the other street.
Okay, understood. Got it. So it's just my read of, of the drawing. My apologies. I have no further questions.
Okay, and Ms. Nastasi, I take it that you are in good standing with the community there?
Yes.
I think, Mr. Chairman, they submitted, if I could, I think there was a letter from the Canton Community Association. Is that right, Mr. Stasi?
That's correct.
Yes, yes. I appreciate. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. All right. Is there anything further you'd like to tell us?
No, sir.
Okay. And do we have public comment, Mr. Blendy?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this application, please use the raise your hand feature in the Webex platform. Mr. Chairman, I do not see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Nastasi, then on the basis of the materials contained in your application, as well as your testimony this morning, I would vote to approve this application to transfer this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license to you with continued outdoor table service. Commissioner?
Commissioner Guy, upon a review of the evidence and the testimony presented before the board this morning by Ms. Nastasi, I also would vote to approve the application to transfer ownership of the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license with continuation of outdoor table service.
Based upon the application before us and the testimony of Ms. Nastasi, I too would approve the transfer of ownership with continuation of outdoor table service.
Ms. Russell?
Michael exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, letter of support from Canton Community Association dated 7/26/21.
All right, Ms. Nastasi, congratulations. Thank you for your participation.
Thank you very much.
And the board will follow up via mail with correspondence with the applicant in order how to complete your transfer in the coming days. Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair, are you prepared to move to the next hearing?
Yes.
All right. 1 second. The next item is Lance teaser. I have moved the applicants into the room. They should be able. There we go. Mr. Shawless is counsel. The video is working. The next item on the before the board, Jacqueline Dolaway and Lance Tiso, Tizjack Incorporated, trading as trade name pending, 25 East Cross Street, Baltimore, Maryland 21230. This is an application to transfer ownership only of a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Mr. Chair?
Ms. Charles, will you identify yourself for the record, please?
Frank Charles represents the applicants.
Okay. Go ahead.
If I might make a proffer, or do you want to swear them in?
Well, you can proffer. Go ahead.
Both of the people, Lance Tiso and Jacqueline Holloway, have long been involved in the hospitality industry in Federal Hill, as a matter of fact, at Roadblock and other places. They are not presently alcohol certified, but they are going to get alcohol certified. They are familiar with the rules and regulations. Mr. Tiso is the resident for the corporation and will not be taking an active part in the operation. Ms. Dalloway will be taking an active part in the operation, which she is well familiar with from frequently visiting and also working in the neighborhood. The community we reached out to, but they have not gotten back to us, and this is a very active area, as you know. So them not having gotten back to us and being aware of the hearing, if they're not here today, they approved it. That will be all we have.
Okay. So, and so it looks like that the current licensees had some problems back in 2016, 2018. Are your clients aware of that? And that's going to be very vigilant about sales to minors and dealing with wholesalers, et cetera?
Absolutely, they're very familiar with it.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
Have none.
Mr. Shawless, have your clients had any issues? Did they have any issues in particular at the rope walk?
No, not themselves.
Okay.
I don't know if the rope walk had issues or not.
Okay, thank you. And then lastly, I assume just because, given their experience, and I assume given the level of engagement of that community, that your clients will continue to be engaged with that community. Because as we know, they're very engaged, as I keep saying, and we want to make sure that they're good relations. So I would hope that you stay in contact with them.
Absolutely. Ms. Dalloway and Mr. Tezel both worked in this community constantly for at least 15 years.
Great. Great. Thank you.
And you said that they're going to get certified. And if they have others working for them handling alcohol, they will be certified as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Lundy, do we have anyone else who wants to testify about this case?
Point of clarity before I do that, Mr. Chairman. There's a Scrivener's error on the docket, the cover page there. For the record, this is a transfer of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Okay.
It's going to bring that.
So the board is clear on that. If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature in the Webex platform. Mr. Chairman, I do not see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
Thank you. Mr. Shawless, then on the basis of the materials contained in the application and your proffer this morning, I would vote to approve this application to transfer this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. The commissioners have, it's up to you whether you agree.
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the proffer that was presented before the board this morning, I also too would vote to approve the application for transfer of the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Based on the application and the proffers from Mr. Shawless, I too would approve the application to transfer the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
Thank you.
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, this is Mr. Chairman. I'm sorry, this is a court reporter. If I can get some clarity on the name of the representative here, because I only have Mr. Tiso and Ms. Dalloway's name spelled.
Frank,
You want Shawless's name? Is that what you want?
Yes, if he can spell that.
SHAULIS.
Great. And your first name, sir?
Frank.
Frank. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Shawless. Good luck.
Thank you.
That concludes this hearing before the board. Applicant and counsel will receive follow-up correspondence from this agency with instructions on how to complete their transfer application. Mr. Chair, are we ready to move forward?
We are.
The next matter, counsel is in. The next matter before the board, Paul Zhang LLC, trading as LS Food Market, located at 4601 Garrison Boulevard, 21215. This is an application to transfer ownership and location of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license presently located at 4101 Norfolk Avenue to 4601 Garrison Boulevard. Licensee is represented by Mr. Previs, who is on the screen, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Good morning. Would you identify yourself for the record, please?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Peter Prevas, Prevas, on behalf of the applicant, Paul Zhang, Zheng, Zhang LLC, who is to my right.
Okay, you going to proffer this, Mr. Previs?
Yes, if I may, Mr. Chairman. This is an application for transfer of ownership and location of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license that is currently located at 4101 Norfolk Avenue. The Norfolk Avenue location is one of the approximately 38 locations that were zoned in a residential and are pending litigation on the ordinance, the new zoning law requiring discontinuance of that liquor at that location. Mr. Zhang was able to purchase or contract to purchase that license to move to his current location. Mr. Zhang has been at LS Food Market, 4601 Garrison Boulevard, since 2011. He is the sole owner. He is the sole operator. He has one employee that works with him. LS is a full grocery store that has beer, wine currently. He intends to continue as a full-service grocery store with deli counter, frozen foods, grocery items, and the like. He is requesting the approval of this transfer that he could also sell alcohol other than just beer, wine. But again, he's not going to take away any grocery. The space that's currently devoted to beer and wine will be devoted to beer, wine, and liquor. He's been there for 10 years. I don't believe he's had any violations. He's full-time operator. He's there every day. He's a hands-on person. And we most respectfully, and he's alcohol awareness certified, obviously, and we ask the board to approve this request.
And if he has employees handling alcohol, they'll be certified as well?
Yes, of course, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Do the commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions.
Only question I have is it's great to hear that he's been in the community for 10 years. Has he provided any notice to the community that he's bringing in that there's likely to be a liquor license?
He hasn't had any communication with any community associations. He's not aware of. He's friendly with the community as such, but hasn't had any contact with a community association per se. He's certainly ready, willing, and able to communicate to anyone in that area who is interested and involved.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Blendy, do we have public comment?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature on the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I do not see any member of the public wishes to testify.
Thank you. Mr. Previous, on the basis of the materials contained in the application as well as your proffer, and noting that there have been no violations at this location, I would vote to approve the application to transfer the ownership and location of this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license from 4101 Norfolk Avenue to 4601 Garrison Boulevard.
Commissioner Guy, upon a review of the evidence and the testimony and the proffer presented by Mr. Previous, I would also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership and location of the Class A beer, wine, and liquor license presently located at 4101 Norfolk Avenue to 4601 Garrison Boulevard.
Based upon the application and the proffer for Mr. Previous, I too would approve the transfer of ownership and location of this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license presently located at 4101 Norfolk Avenue to 4601 Garrison Boulevard.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, Mr. Previous, good luck to your clients. Thank you.
And
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Previous, Mr. Zhang, you will receive follow-up correspondence on how to complete this transfer. And I assume you are aware that we cannot license two premises with two different licenses. So I assume we will be in communication with what you choose to do with the existing Class A beer and wine, which we cannot process this transfer until that's handled. So thank you.
We understand we have 6 months to dispose of the other license if possible.
Understood. Thank you, counsel. Thank you, applicant. Mr. Chairman, are you ready to move to the next matter?
Yes.
The next item on the docket before the board today, Prabin Bandari and Bradley Guy Restivo, GNP LLC, trading as New Edison Lounge and Liquors. Premises is located at 3133 to 35 East Monument Street, Baltimore, Maryland 21205. This is an application to transfer ownership and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages to a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Applicant is represented by it's Mr. Kadensky's Webex, but I believe it is Abe. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'm stepping in for Mr. Boozer today.
Okay. Can you turn on the camera there?
I believe it's on now.
Okay.
All
Mr.
right.
Hurdle, will you identify yourself for the record, please?
Yes, Abraham Hurdle on behalf of GNP LLC, filling in for Mr. Frank Boozer.
And just so that the reporter knows, it's Hurdle, right?
Correct, Hurdle.
Okay. Are you going to proffer this, Mr. Hurdle?
Absolutely. Go
ahead, please.
By way of proffer, this is an in-location transfer from an existing open and operating business at 3133 through 35 East Monument Street. The use is on the first floor with basement for storage. It's a BD7 license. Mr. Bandahari is the 99% licensee. He's got 6 years of experience. He is familiar with the rules regarding purchasing from wholesalers, not selling to minors, and all of the other rules and regulations of the Baltimore Liquor Board. In addition, Mr. Bradley Guy Restivo, I think there's a typo on the header page, is the 1% owner of the liquor license. He's going to be the city resident. He's going to help out with bookkeeping and administration work, probably on weekends. In addition, both licensees will be alcohol awareness certified. Both will complete background checks prior to their operation. And both are, again, familiar with the Baltimore City Board of Liquor Licenses rules and regulations.
So this location has had a long series of violations from 2008 through 2019. Are they familiar with that and aware that they're taking over a sort of troubled license?
My understanding is they are. I reviewed that as well. The current operating licensee took over in roughly 2014. And one of the reasons he is parting with the business is he hasn't been able to give it the attention that it deserves. The previous licensee was just not doing well health-wise from 2008 to 2014. Actually, when the license previously transferred, the former owner passed about 3 months after the transfer was completed in 2014, which is a very convenient way of saying that because of his age, I don't think he was also watching it as closely as he should be. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the location. I just think it requires a mindful operator. This operator is intending to do just that. I've spoken with him about the issues, and while he wouldn't be subject to the previous issues, I think the board would be more cognizant of repeated violations at the location.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
I have none.
No question.
Okay. Do you have public comment, Mr. Bundy?
If any member of the public wishes to be heard by the board on this matter, please use the raise your hand feature in the WebEx platform. Mr. Chair, I do not see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
Okay. Mr. Hurdle, then on the basis of the materials contained in the application and your proffer, I vote to approve this application of transfer of this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcoholic beverages. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the proffer by Mr. Hurley, I would also vote to approve the application of transfer of ownership and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages for the BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Based upon the application and the proffer from Mr. Hurdle, I too would approve the application to transfer ownership with the delivery of beverages, and have to ask Mr. Hurdle, is that Miss Pappas behind you? We see her name everywhere. Is that her?
For better or worse, yes, it is.
So she's what makes it all work, right?
She is the foundation of the office, without question. She's what keeps it moving. Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
it's nice to actually see her. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
All right, Mr. Hurdle, then congratulations to your client. I hope they will be vigilant and have a successful operation. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Mr. Commissioner, if I could jump in and ask for the spelling of Mr. Boozer.
Boozer.
It is, okay, great, thanks.
That concludes this matter before the board. Applicant and counsel will receive follow-up correspondence from this office on how to complete their transfer. Mr. Chair, are we ready to move forward?
We are.
The next two items on the docket are represented by Mr. Kadensky, who has slid into the chair, and the next item specifically, applicant Chune Bishwakarma and Bharat Barali, Sri Balaji Incorporated, trading as Portside Tavern and Lounge, 2821 to 23 O'Donnell Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. This is an application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages for a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Kadensky, by yourself, please.
For the record, Melvin J. Kadensky, 320 on North Charles Street. I didn't want you to think, Mr. Chairman, that I was sliding into your chair there. I think that was a misstatement. I could never do that.
You're welcome anytime.
Let me retire, please. This is a transfer of stock interest. The corporation is the same as Sri Balaji. The gentleman behind me, who is the applicant here, has been there running the place for about the last year and a half as a manager. He was become alcohol certified. He is familiar with the rules and regulations of the liquor board. They are not making any changes. They have outdoor table service and they have some light entertainment, usually acoustical or maybe a DJ once in a while. And they haven't had any problems in that area since Sri Balaji has been operating the establishment.
And who's the gentleman behind you?
That's Mr. Barali. The other person is a current licensee, Ms. Bishwakarma. She's the current licensee, is the city resident.
So he's purchasing an interest in the corporation.
Stock interest. That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and that's the only change?
That's the only change.
All right. Do the commissioners have any questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Anyone else wish to testify, Mr. Blendy?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter, please use the raise your hand feature on the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I do not see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
All right. Mr. Kadensky, then on the basis of the materials contained in the application and your proffer, I vote to approve the application to transfer this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license to the applicants with continued live entertainment, outdoor table service, and delivery of alcoholic beverages. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon review of the evidence and the proffer of Mr. Kadensky, I also would vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with continuation of live entertainment and outdoor table service and with the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application and the proffer from Mr. Kadensky, I too would vote to approve the transfer of ownership with continuation of live entertainment, outdoor table service, and the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kadensky. I wish them well.
If I could get a spelling on Miss McConnell, I think it was. Did he already drop off?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry, who were you looking for?
It was, I think he was saying it was the current holder.
Bishwakarma. It's on the license.
Oh, that, okay. Yes, I do see it. Okay, thank you.
Bishwakarma is the name. Yep.
Okay.
That concludes this matter before the board. Applicant and counsel will receive follow-up correspondence from this agency with instructions on how to complete the transfer. Mr. Chair, are you ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
Also, Mr. Kadensky's client. This is applicant Marcos Fernando Urena, Charles Street Liquors LLC, trading as Charles Street Liquors. License or premises is located at 1122 South Charles Street, 21230, Baltimore, Maryland. This is an application to transfer ownership only and requesting delivery of alcoholic beverages of a Class A beer, wine, and liquor license.
For the record, again, Melvin J. Kudensky, 320 North Charles Street. And for the record, I like the way you rolled it, Fernando. That's very good.
Mr. Cadenza, you going to proffer this one?
Yes, sir, Prof. This is a Class A liquor license. Been in that location for a long period of time. Is owned by the Katz family. They have finally decided to go on and sell and retire. Mr. Urena has purchased the business, has been working there for the last 5 or 6 months, along with the Katz family who are going to stay on with him. He's going to take the alcohol awareness course. He is familiar with the rules and regulations of the liquor board, and this particular establishment has not had any problems. He has talked with a few members of the community, have stopped in, and they haven't expressed any type of objection or any type of concern about the operation.
Okay, everything else going to remain the same then?
Exactly.
Okay, Commissioners, you have questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Do we have public interest?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature in the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I do not see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
And Mr. Urena is there with you?
He's right here behind me. And
Okay. Okay, thank you, then. On the basis of the materials contained in his application and your proffer, Mr. Shinesky, I'd vote to approve the application to transfer this Class A beer, wine, and liquor license with delivery of alcoholic beverages. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the proffer presented by Mr. Kudensky, I would also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Based upon the application and the proffer from Mr. Kudensky, I too would approve the application to transfer ownership with the delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, again, Mr. Kudensky, congratulations and good luck to them.
thank you very much.
And for the record, Fernando is my father-in-law's name, so I had some practice in pronouncing, rolling the R. So
Whatever Fernando wants, Fernando gets.
it's mi suegro. So that concludes this matter before the board. Applicant and counsel will receive follow-up correspondence from this agency with instructions on how to complete their transfer. Mr. Chair, are we ready for the next one?
We are.
The final items on the docket today are all clients represented by Mr. Fogelman. I've moved Mr. Fogelman into the panel. And the first is applicant Luigi Troia, Patioli LLC, trading as Grano Pasta Bar. Premises is located at 1031 West 36th Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21211. This is an application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license, requesting outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages of a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Fogelman? Are you there?
Should be. We lose you?
Nope. I'm here.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Please.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioner. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of applicant Luigi Troia.
Okay. Do you wish to proffer this, Mr. Fogelman?
I do. And I think you can see I'm joined by Mr. Troia across the conference table and Mr. Lou Catelli, a former employee of Grano Pasta Bar. Grano is well known, certainly in Hamden, as one of the gems in the crown of the dining scene. Emporio Grano was open from 2015 through what looks like earlier this year at 3547 Chestnut Avenue. Mr. Troia's liquor licensee at least 2010 through 2018, I think there. And he had no violations whatsoever. He wanted to move the restaurant so that he could purchase the building. He was not able to purchase the building at the prior location. Unfortunately, the senatorial districts run down the middle, I guess, of Chestnut. Yeah. And so he had to acquire a new liquor license in order to make this happen. So he did purchase the building. Building was purchased for $450,000. Unfortunately, part of the building had to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. So there's been over $700,000 in capital investment made in the building. Now, the building, in addition to housing this restaurant space, also houses 6 efficiency, very small apartments, and 2 one-bedroom apartments. The floor space of the restaurant versus the floor space of the apartments are almost exactly 50-50. So based on the amounts put into this building by Mr. Troya, even at 50%, that's just for the restaurant space, that would see a $350,000 capital investment. Mr. Troya has been alcohol management certified, and he, as you know, has old world pasta with trendy global other dishes, as mentioned on his website.
Okay. And the restaurant's going to be similar to what he had before, just at a different location?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioners have questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Okay. Do we have members of the community want to testify? Mr. Bundy?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature in the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I don't see anyone who wishes to testify.
Okay. Mr. Fogelman, then on the basis of the materials contained in the application and your proffer, I vote to approve this application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license with outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Guy, upon a review of the evidence and the proffer by Mr. Fogelman, I too would also vote to approve the application for a new Class B beer, wine, and liquor restaurant license, outdoor table service, off-premises catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
This application, the prop from Mr. Fogelman, and the evidence, which I know was submitted, demonstrating that the licensee has met the requirement of the investment, I too would approve, and the seating requirement, I too would approve the application for a new Class B license with outdoor table service, off-premise catering, and delivery of alcoholic beverages.
Thank you all.
Ms. Russell?
Thank you all.
I'd call exhibits for the record. Board Exhibit 1, construction contract agreement. Board Exhibit 2, scope of work for 1029 West 26th Street.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Fogelman. Good luck to Mr. Troya.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council and applicant will receive follow-up correspondence with instructions on how to complete the creation of your new liquor license and issuance. Mr. Chair, are you ready for the next matter?
Yes.
This is also Mr. Fogelman, and I'm moving the applicant or the licensee into the panel now. She is remote. This is licensees Jada McCrae and Chris Simon, Black Swan Restaurant LLC, trading as Black Swan. Premises is located at 1100 Fleet Street, number 1302, Baltimore, Maryland 21202. Licensees have an existing Class B beer, wine, and liquor license, and they're requesting to add live entertainment to said license.
Okay. Mr. Fogelman, you identify yourself again, please?
Yes, thank you. I just went off a dual camera. Can you see me or no?
I can, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of applicant or licensee Jada McCrae. Thank you.
And so they want to add live entertainment. What's the nature of the entertainment?
That I knew you always ask, and in this one, I must say it's some of the most varied and diverse entertainment. Comedians, violins, spoken word, dance, plus a DJ. They've really got a neat lineup of artistic live entertainment. They were approved by zoning appeal number 2021-028 on May 11. And as you know, they've been open to the public and they've received a very warm reception. So live entertainment would be an integral part of being that kind of establishment that we want here in Baltimore.
Okay, commissioners have questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Do we have public comment, Mr. Blendy?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature in the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I do not see anyone using the raise your hand feature.
All right, thank you. Then, Mr. Fogelman, on the basis of materials contained in the application and your proffer, I would vote to approve the addition of live entertainment to this Class B beer, wine, and liquor license. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon a review of the evidence and the proffer presented by Mr. Kavinsky, I would also vote to approve the request to add live entertainment.
Based upon the application and the proffer of Mr. Fogelman, I too would approve the request to add live entertainment.
Thank you. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, Mr. Fogelman, good luck to your clients.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to the applicant and counsel. That concludes this matter before the board. Licensee will receive follow-up correspondence from this agency with instructions on how to add live entertainment and complete the addition. Mr. Chairman, are you ready for the next matter?
Yeah, let's proceed.
The next matter is an amended application from applicants Sujan Subaidi, Sudarshan Subaidi, and MD Masarul Islam, Subaidi Brothers LLC, trading as O'Connor's. Premises is located at 4801 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21224. And as I mentioned, this is an amended application to transfer ownership only of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license.
Counsel, you want to identify yourself again?
Thank you. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of the applicants. I'd like to make a proffer. This should be the easiest case of the day. I filed a transfer application, I don't know, it's 5 months ago. And this is one that came to me where the contract had already been done. There was obviously some miscommunication because I had put down the buyer's business as the seller's business, as 4801 Eastern Avenue Corporation. So we got approved by this board several months ago, went through all the inspections, got his use and occupancy, and it got emailed to me and it says Subaidi Brothers LLC on it. And so he's done with this transfer, but he just needs the license to read in his correct business entity. So like I say, you've already approved him and the city resident and his partner. So we really just need to clean this up so the license matches the certificate of occupancy. Thank you.
And just to be clear, Mr. Blendy, do you know when we approved it?
February 26th, my client is saying.
Okay. Okay. Commissioners have questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Okay. Do we have public comment on this?
It was the February 25th, I believe, was the hearing, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Fogelman's client beat me to it. If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature on the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I don't see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
All right. Thank you. Then on the basis of the materials contained in the amended application with the correct name now on the license, I would vote to approve the amended application to transfer ownership of this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon the review of the evidence and the proffer of Mr. Fogelman, I too would approve the amended application to transfer ownership.
Based on the materials contained in the amended application and the proffer of Mr. Fogelman, I too would approve the amended application to transfer ownership.
Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fogelman. I'm glad you got it right this time.
I know. Thank you. I'm not perfect. We knew that.
None of us are.
That concludes this matter before the board. Council will receive, and applicant or licensee will receive follow-up instructions on how to complete the amended transfer. So ready for the last matter before the board, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
The final item on the docket today, licensee applicant James Crawford, TRBMD LLC, trading as the Royal Blue. Premises is located at 1733 to 35 Maryland Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21201. And this is an application to transfer ownership and requesting outdoor table service of a Class BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license. Mr. Fogelman is counsel, Mr. Chair.
One more time, Mr. Fogelman, please.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Stephen W. Fogelman on behalf of applicant James Crawford.
And will you proffer this one as well?
I'm happy to. Sure. This is Mr. Crawford. Mr. Crawford is a welder by trade, but he fell in love with the bar business, had a part-time job that turned into a full-time gig. He has worked for El Buffalo, the Horseshoe came in on, Raw and Refined, currently Johnny Rad's, many very good establishments in the city. His intention here is to open a bar that serves, quite frankly, upscale bar food and signature cocktails, more of a bigger menu in the front of the house with sandwiches and possibly locally made sausages, and kind of a cocktail lounge in the back of the house. He has been alcohol management certified in the past and certainly will continue that. And food safe certified as well. So this is his first time on a liquor license, but certainly no stranger to the hospitality business. And generally speaking, the places he's been associated with have been very well managed. So a lot he's learned.
Okay, well, this one had a sale to minors back in 2019, so make sure that he's vigilant about that.
100%. It'll be a carding policy. I mean, what do you think? What is your carding policy?
We will have.
Oh, sorry. I'll relay it for you. We're proffering. You're not scoring. No, he's going to card anybody under 35. So I will. I expect it to be a younger crowd, which means that it is going to be pretty much 100% ID check.
Okay, commissioners have questions?
I have none.
No questions.
Do we have community commentary?
If any member of the public wishes to testify on this matter before the board, please use the raise your hand feature on the Webex platform. Mr. Chair, I do not see any member of the public who wishes to testify.
Okay, Mr. Fogelman, now on the basis of the materials contained in the application as well as your proffer, I vote to approve this application to transfer this BD7 beer, wine, and liquor license, the ownership, and outdoor table service. Commissioners?
Commissioner Guy, upon a review of the evidence and the proffer of Mr. Fogelman, I too would also vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with outdoor table service.
Based upon the application and the proffer from Mr. Fogelman, I too would vote to approve the application to transfer ownership with outdoor table service.
Thank you, gentlemen. Ms. Russell?
No exhibits for the record.
Okay, Mr. Fogelman, thank you for this and good luck to Mr. Crawford.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, commissioners. Have a great weekend.
That concludes this matter before the board. Licensee and counsel will receive follow-up correspondence from this email on how to complete the transfer and receive your license. Mr. Chairman, that concludes all the matters on today's short docket. Anything further, or may I read the adjournment announcement?
Go ahead, please.
The board will be in recess until Thursday, August 12th, 2021. The board shall post on its website, provide notice to applicants and/or attorneys, and conduct a virtual hearing on this date. Please call our office at 410-396-4377 between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. with any questions or concerns that you have with this or any other matter. That's all we have before the board, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I want to thank the commissioners as always and the staff who were helpful today. We had some technical difficulties early on and everything got resolved and we were able to accomplish the docket. So that's a good thing. So have a pleasant weekend ahead and we will see you on August 12th. Thank you.
Do the same.
Thank you.
All right, we are off the record at 11:57.